Welcome to the Buddy and Shane Show.
Hello and welcome to the Buddy and Shane Show, coming to you from the Gold Coast. Another huge weekend of footy, Buddy Franklin. Oh my goodness, you've done it again. Seriously, if you haven't been tuning in on a Thursday where we give our tips, but more importantly, we give our morals. You've done it with the Giants against Brisbane, then you follow up with the Giants against Geelong. You put your head on the chopping block. You said Fremantle, no, they're the ones for me. They're going to beat Collingwood. So I thought, you know what, I better tune into this match. And they've done it. At the MCG, they were able to find a way to win. They all lifted. Patrick Voss starring with 6 goals. How do you do it?
Pretty good pick. Oh, yeah, pretty good pick, wasn't it? No, but
unbelievable.
Mate, it was awesome, wasn't it? Like for them to come over to the MCG, it's always been a bit of a question mark on Fremantle with their history. They haven't been able to travel to Melbourne and win. But I've been watching them in the past few weeks. They've been playing some really good football. Their tackle pressure last week against Hawthorn was through the roof. I thought if they could bring that again against Collingwood, they'll be right in this game, and they were.
2 rucks worked. Their 2 rucks did quite well. And what it does is Jackson, especially in last quarters, I'll tell you what, geez, he's in red-hot form at the moment, but especially in the last quarter, he was just doing things that, you know, ruckmen don't normally do. You know, late in the fourth quarter, he was able to get a lot of the footy, run through the middle, set up some great play, intercept the ball when he had to. It worked last week against the Hawks. Their last quarter was very good, and they've done it again against the best team in the competition, the Pies.
Absolutely, and I think Voss, what an incredible game to kick 6 goals, first time playing at the MCG.
He's sort of got the Lance Franklin strut, you know.
I wouldn't
kick a
say
few
that,
goals
Shane.
and sort of like a peacock, get the chest out.
But I want a shout out to Tracy too. Obviously didn't have one of his better games, but played a real selfless role. Yep. He knew that Voss was on, so moved out of the space, got up the ground, created more space for Voss, and he was able to do the damage and did it on a really good player too in Moore to kick 6 goals on their captain. Probably could have had another one too late. They probably could have chipped to the pocket and he had another shot to make it 7. But yeah, an awesome win by Fremantle. So they're right back in it now. What are they, 7th or 8th on the ladder? I think they've got some big games coming up. But yeah,
got a really good run actually the next 3 weeks. Yes, extremely winnable. Like I think it might be
are they back at home?
Richmond, a Port Adelaide. There's
winnable games.
There's very, very winnable games. They're pretty much locked for the finals. As long as they can bring their consistency, the games and the teams they're going to be coming up against. So, 2 huge wins over the last few weeks. Hey, I did want to mention before we get on with it, just so everyone can understand that I've tried and I'm going to try and I'm keep trying, the Legends match, which is all the superstars. Or just coaching? Mate, when you break something, it doesn't heal that quick.
No, we could just inject it up and out you get there.
So I would love to get out in there and have a run around. I think that would be fantastic. But
this, by the way, this shoulder or whatever it is, it's been going on for months now. It's time to move on. Come on.
Well, I don't know about you, but when you break something, things take a lot of time to heal, and then you obviously can't have much impact. And I was playing a non-contact game of footy and had impact. But anyway, so the Legends match, end of August. It's going to be huge. We've got Nick Revolt, who is captaining the All-Stars. He got an amazing coach. I'm coaching. And then Timmy Watson, the great superstar from Essendon. He's coaching the Victorian team. Luke Hodge, he's going to be captaining the side. He did say to me, I'd love to play on Bud. I reckon I could smash him. And
hopefully his hammy's recovered after playing basketball, running, not even sprinting, just jogging. Does his hammy, so hopefully he gets up for this game.
Just a shuffle. But anyway, Gary Ablett Jr., he's in for Victoria, and Cyril Rioli for the All-Stars. So now I'm making a plea here, just so everyone can hear. We need you. I need a forward line with Cyril Rioli and Buddy Franklin. Just one more time.
Sean, you know I'm a marathon runner, mate.
I'm your coach. I'll allow you to do whatever you want, even though you used to do that anyway. And just sit in that forward line. I'll make sure everyone gets out. I can see you kicking 15.
15.
Having a night out. It's already sold out. Well,
I would have loved
There's
to.
still tickets to
I would have loved to have played in this game. I think what an unbelievable thing to be a part of, but unfortunately I can't get there, Shane.
I'm not accepting this.
I'm in the mix of training for a marathon.
I know, and
that
you're
is my
training all year. I
focus.
totally get that.
So I might come down and watch.
No. If you're coming, you are playing. Maybe you could be my sub, my super sub. I can keep you fresh, ready to go.
I can hold the clipboard out with the team.
No,
Just
you got
hold
to be
it for you.
playing. You got to be in that forward line next to Cyril. The crowd will go berserk. It's going to be a huge crowd Thursday night. National audience, one more time. And if we can get you, that forward line with no one else in there.
And it'll be good to see Cyril back. It'll be good to see Cyril back under lights. Hopefully, what do you reckon, 5 or 6 for Cyril probably?
Oh, I think, well, it depends if you
Is
play
he
or
playing
not.
up that way? Is he playing up?
He's still having a run at times,
Darwin?
isn't he?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we all love having a kick at times. You're the only one, and I know you've been doing your training for your marathon and you're not far off from heading to New York, so you don't want any little hiccups along the way. I totally get that. But I have seen you play basketball, and I've never seen someone
Come
so
on.
physical on a basketball
Shane,
court.
your son is a great basketball player.
Mate, he's the worst shot going around. No, he's going good. All right, okay. So I've tried. I'm going to keep trying. So what you're telling me, it's a no at the moment, but there's still a chance. Just give me a bit of hope.
It's a no, Shane, at the moment. At the moment. We'll chat after. We'll chat after. Keep you happy, mate. Let's
To be
move
honest,
on, Shane.
I'd love you to play, and my pre-match talk is, okay, this is how we're going to set up. Bud,
Is it at the if it's at the MCG, I might maybe come. Is
you're
it at the G?
fullback. And we're at Marvel.
Oh.
Don't you like Marvel?
Ooh. MCG maybe
Oh, you
I'd probably
played
get
it.
there.
207, you're on fire. You won the game for us in that final at Marvel. So let's reenact that. Come on. All right, let's get on. The Suns, they failed on the road. You've been saying it all year. Travelling is a real factor for the Suns. I'm a believer that they've changed and they have found a way to win on the road at times, but no goals in the first half against Adelaide. Adelaide were amazing. The Suns, unfortunately, their best win of the year last year against Collingwood. They've obviously read all the papers this week and accepted all the pats on the back. Haven't gone there in the right frame of mind. And unfortunately, this is a problem. This is a problem that you identified early, and you said it's still a problem, and you've been proven right once again.
Well, it's something I've spoken about all year, Shane. It's been that when they play at home, they're unstoppable. They're a great team. We know that. They've got stars all across the park.
Yep.
But when they travel, something they don't get right. I don't know what it is, but they just can't get it right. They can't go to Melbourne and win. Then they have to go interstate to Adelaide and get beaten badly. So, yeah, there's going to be question marks. And I'm still, I thought last week's win was huge. It was absolutely huge for the club. They did what they needed to do.
Should be a
against a great team.
springboard, but then you put up a performance like that. You don't kick any goals in the first half.
Disappointing. But,
Finals teams don't do that.
well, they've got a soft run. They've got an easy run coming up. So they'll definitely, I'm thinking they're definitely going to play finals because I looked at their next 3 or 4 games are against the bottom 4 to 5 teams, which puts them in a good place. But there still is question marks. They've got to go to Melbourne. There's a game here or whatever, but they've still got to go to Melbourne and beat these teams. But there's question marks there on them.
Yes, a bit disappointing. But anyway, we move on. Goal review. You were texting me on the weekend saying, this goal review crap I'm not happy with. So what are you happy with? Are you happy that we're finally getting all the decisions right, even though it's taking 2, 3, 4 minutes for the decision to come in?
For me, this is the most frustrating part of football. Score reviews, it's like within the first 5 to 10 minutes, they've got that. They sit there for 45 seconds, slows the game up. Then in the last 3 to 4 minutes, they do the same. They held up play for 2 to 2.5, 3 minutes.
Yep. Some of the camera angles aren't right and the pictures look a touch fuzzy at times, so you can never clearly identify, so you really need to magnify the camera angles, but it's, it's such a wide space, so it's very, very hard for everyone, even if it's a little touch or even if it's touch on the line.
What annoys me is, especially when a team's got momentum, Bulldogs at that stage of the game had all the momentum, and then they go to a score review.
Yep.
Takes all this 3 minutes. Brisbane,
Catch your breath,
great club.
communicate with each other.
They take a big deep breath, talk to each other. Great leadership. They're back in the game. I just think they just need to go umpires call, at that stage of the game, like not from the start, just go, the umpire's call. This is what it is. This is what I think it is. It's a point. Your kick. It's a mark.
Yep.
Go by that. I think that's what it needs to get back to because it's annoying. And like anyone watching the game, it just slows everything up and it's just frustrating. I think just go, umpire's call. We're moving on. Get on with it.
Do you reckon you can use it as a bit of a tactic from a playing point of view, saying, no, I definitely touched that or I touched that right on the line even though it was way over, just to buy you a bit of extra time like they do in basketball. They have a few timeouts. Maybe it's a bit of a tactic that some of the teams can employ.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think it's really it's just frustrating. That's the biggest thing for me. It's just really frustrating as a supporter of the game, slowing it up, sitting there and watching, waiting. It's just a frustrating part of the game, and I think it definitely needs to be looked at. I know Tom Harley's gone on board to the AFL.
Get it right, Tom.
Get it right, Tom.
Goodness
and
sake.
I think
Get rid of this standing rule.
the standing rule.
Seriously, you're playing a game of footy, moving parts, and you're telling players to stand still like a statue, and you make it so easy for the person with the footy. Let's put a bit of pressure on the ball. Let's get the man on the mark moving again, side to side, and really put them under pump. Anyway, it's not about that. It was more about the goal review. Stephen May, is he going to be suspended? Head high bump on Francis Evans, straight to the tribunal. I think it'll be going. What does he do in that situation? And it's a hard situation because you got to go. You can't really pull back, otherwise it'll look like you sort of haven't put in your very best effort. But it seemed as though he sort of did everything he possibly could. Lowered the shoulders, front on contact, didn't turn side on, went straight for the ball. I don't know what you do in that situation apart from what he did.
Well, I've been in this position multiple times and been suspended for it, so I know exactly what he's going through. I think the hard thing for Stephen May there is he's going for the ball at the last second. He needs to protect himself, and that's like it's easy for people to go, oh well, he's braced his shoulder. It's like, well, what do you want him to do in that position? Just run like this, and then he hurts himself.
Yep,
it happens so quickly in the game. I think it's a split-second decision he needs to make, and in those positions, the split-second decision is to protect yourself. And unfortunately, he got bumped. But
even in this situation, he didn't really protect himself. He just folded in and made sure his shoulders and his elbows and everything was tucked in, like you're going to go and keep your body behind the ball.
But it's even like
I seriously don't know what else he was meant to do.
But it's like, is he running in? Do you like in that position when you're running flat out? The obvious thing to do is if you see a body coming, you're going to brace. That's natural. Yep. That's what you do in that position. But it sort of feels like, and this is something that I struggle with too. It's sort of what do you want him to do in that position? Do you want him to lean with his head and then he has a head clash? It's such a tough thing to do because it's sort of like it happens that quickly and.
And the ball just sits up, it just hovers, and it just makes it really uncomfortable for both players. Francis Evans, great courage to attack the footy. Obviously cops a huge head knock. And then you see slow-mo, his tooth flying out. But, wonderful courage. And that's what Blues supporters want to see. They want to see players, especially when the team's been struggling, putting their body on the line and trying to win. But then Stephen May, I reckon when he goes to the tribunal, what he needs to do, he needs to get up and demonstrate and say, listen, what am I meant to do in this situation? Am I meant to pull out and then cop it from my coach because I wasn't a brick wall to try and, defend players running towards goal and having access to space to kick the ball? What am I actually meant to do? So I think this is one where he really, if I'm in charge of him going to the tribunal, you need to get up and demonstrate. I know you had a lot of times, and you were physical, you liked to be physical, but when you'd go to bump, you'd have players, and there's a big size difference too with Francis Evans and Stephen May. Stephen May is a big, tall, strong guy. Francis Evans is not. He's small like me. So I know you had issues with that when you bumped a few times. Your shoulder hit the heads of, I think it was Ben Cousins at one stage when you bumped him. So there's a big size difference. So how low can you get? So there's a lot of factors, but I would be making sure that I'd be getting up and demonstrating and saying, can you please tell me what do I do in this situation? How am I meant to approach it? Put it back on the tribunal. What am I meant to do?
I think if Maisie's looking at that again, if he probably had his time again, I know it happens very quickly, he's probably going to have to slow up a fraction and try to tackle. That's probably the biggest thing. But if you're going at that pace, then all of a sudden you go a tackle, put an arm out, you're going to get him high in the head anyway, probably if you're going for a tackle. So anyway, it's a tough one to as a player, no doubt. I think especially if you're a physical player like Stephen May is, it's a difficult position to be in. But we play a high speed game, and there's always going to be these sort of collisions. I feel you just probably got to be a little bit smarter coming in.
The Dogs, can they still win the flag? They've got 5 players in the top 20. When you look from a champion data point of view, I don't always like looking at the stats, but you got Bont, you've got Richards, you've got Bailey Dale, Libba and Darcy. Yet they've only beaten one team in the top 8 all season. They currently sit 9th. Can they make the finals, and can they win the whole thing? And do you know what I thought? And your big thing on the weekend was making sure they got Jones back to straighten him up. I thought Jones was pretty good.
He did well.
I thought he was very good.
Playing on the resting ruckman is difficult too because they're big boys. So
I thought the Bulldogs played quite well. They were playing the Brisbane Lions, who are one of the best. So they're going to have to win all their games. I think they're capable of winning all the games.
What's their draw like? Is it pretty good?
It's never going to be great because this time of year you're always going to come up against some sides who
I think they got Rich Essendon this week, so there's a big win.
Yeah, a confidence booster. But I think they're a side that could be quite scary, and I think they could win all their games on the run home if they just start getting that belief. They still turn the ball over a little bit too much down back, and their defence is obviously been a bit of an issue, but I still think they're scary enough to make a bit of a run and win all their games and sneak into the finals.
When you come up against good teams, you're going to have turnovers in the back half just because Brisbane's pressure is some of the best in the AFL. So I think that pressure, that's why they were missing kicks, and that I think Brisbane's pressure on them was really good. But Bulldogs are an interesting team, aren't they? I think when they're at their best, I think they're a top 4 team. But then when they're slightly off, they can get scored against. And as I said, I think Jones coming back into the team definitely helps. I think they need him to stay in the team and keep fit. I think I looked at the game on the weekend and some of his closing speed, he's still got that speed.
Yep.
I think on the commentary they said, 2 or 3 years ago he would have got there. I looked at it, I was like, he's flying. He's absolutely humming across the grass. Like he hasn't lost any speed. So I think it's good to have him back in there. I think, like you said, with those boys there, they've got they're 5 in the top 20 ranked players in the competition. If you watch Bont's first half, a little bit quiet, a little bit fumbly, which is unlike him. It was Dewey. Second half, went about his work. It was incredible. If they had won that game, that second half would have been spoken about for a very long time. He was unbelievable, and that's why he's the best player in the competition. But I thought Darcy was incredible, worked his backside off, kept getting to contests on the wing, great mark, got a few free kicks, kept presenting. So I think anytime you got Bont and Darcy in that team, they're going to do damage. And I think, like you said, this last 5 to 6 weeks is going to be very interesting for them, but I think they can definitely play finals.
Yeah, I still think that they can come with real momentum. Ginnivan, he gets his revenge on Ken Hinkley down in Tasmania, kicks the goal. He does a little aeroplane, and head down, so he wasn't overdoing it. But Jack, my advice to Jack is, if you're going to celebrate, go for it, mate. Don't hold back. Just put a smile on your face at the end. I think a smile can always you can get away with it. Ken Hinkley's reaction, I think, was nice. I think it's good for footy, that byplay. Can't believe that Ken was fined $20,000 last year for buying into that. I love it. It's all a theatre of sport. No one was ever going to step over the line, but it was a nice little celebration and good for sport and gets us all talking.
Yeah, well, you need individuals, don't you? Like you need people that have celebrations and have personalities. And like you said, he did it with a smile on his face. So I think, as you said, it's good to have individuals like that at clubs. And Ken was awesome about it too, which is good.
He was. Well done. Both enjoyed it. Keep it up. Good stuff. Isaac Heaney, he was unbelievable. 34 touches. What did he kick? 5 goals, 13 clearances. What do you always say when you play Sydney? You always say Warner and Heaney, you got to pay close attention. Well, now Errol, I suppose now that makes it hard. What a game. He's had a good year, hasn't he? He's had a good year in a side that's struggled early. He was still performing extremely well. That's as good as you get from a midfielder, kicking 5 goals. Not very many midfielders kick 5 goals at the SCG and play midfield most of the game. Actually, do you know, I think I did that once in my second game, but it's not about me.
No one's ever recorded what he did in a game, ever. Not even Gary Ablett Jr., not even Dangerfield, Fife. No one's ever done what he did on the weekend. And we know it's against North Melbourne, but what he did yesterday was incredible, or Saturday was incredible. Have 34, kick 5, 13 clearances, 10 or 11 score involvements. He's just an incredible player. I think.
Why? I want to know why. What makes him tick? Is he one of those guys at training that just always wants to win at training, no matter what they're doing as well? Is he that competitive, or he's just? I think he's got something different about him.
No, he's just a professional. Like from the first day he walked in the football club, he's been in that academy since the age of 12 years of age. So he knows.
Yep.
He knows how to be a professional athlete, and he's just an incredible player. Like he's so clean, hardly ever fumbles. When he gets his opportunities in front of goals, he kicks straight, and then that's the difference. I think that's the difference between being a good player or a great player is when you get the opportunities, you really make the opposition play, and especially when North were in that game for the first half, but then you get players like Heaney, Errol. The guns step up and they rise to the occasion. And
the lizard.
And, I think Isaac, he's had a great individual season again. I think, we haven't really spoken about him too much because they've had a few losses. But
is he All-Australian?
I think if he continues on this next, how many weeks, 6-7 weeks, whatever there's left, if he can continue on and kick another 15 goals and have these many 28 touches a game, he'll definitely be in contention for sure.
North Melbourne. They're back in 17th. It's been they tried hard, and yes, they're undermanned, but everyone's undermanned this time of year. I'm a little disappointed with North Melbourne. I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought they would climb up the ladder. I thought they'd have more wins than what they've had this year, and I'm expecting more. Were you expecting more from them?
I wasn't expecting them to
do much.
Well, I think we can't underestimate Sydney. They're playing some pretty good football to come to the SCG. And
no, but
win.
I just mean on the whole year, North Melbourne. Surely you were expecting them to be a lot better because they have been developing for a long time now.
That's where I see them at the moment. I don't see them pushing up the ladder. They've been competitive, and I think if you're Clarkson, you look at it and go, you can see the growth of the players. They're definitely getting better. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And I've said that earlier in the year, that it's going to take a little bit of time. Would have they liked a few more wins? They probably went through that 6 to 7 week period where they were right in the games and only lost by a goal or two. So they'll be looking at next year and going, okay, well, this close, they're the games you've got to be winning. So hopefully next year they're looking at 6 to 8 wins.
Were they saying that last year about, locking away those wins?
I think they're on the right path. I think, they'll be disappointed that they hadn't won any more games. I think next year they have to give their first round pick to Richmond, which could be a number, 2 pick?
Yep.
Wow. So if it's a key position player that goes number 2, they'll be absolutely kicking themselves.
Well, that's it. This spy, they need a bit, they need to somehow off-season be able to find a couple of 22, 23-year-old players ready to be sort of key position types and lock them away.
And Croft, just with that, I think, when you're North Melbourne and you're down the bottom every year, and then you've got the likes of Collingwood, Hawthorn, the big clubs, they're destination clubs. With North Melbourne, when they're losing this many games, it's hard to get players there. So they've got to go to the draft every year and sort of build it from the bottom up. No one wants to go there. So that's the issue. No senior good players are going to go, I want to go to North Melbourne because I'd rather go to the clubs that are winning. So that's the difficult part for them at the moment. But I do think they're on the right path. I think they've got some great kids. I think they need a key position forward and a key position back in this next draft and then sort of build it that way.
Morris Rioli's tackle, Richmond against West Coast. That's just one of the great tackles of all time. And just to charge off, even to put perceived pressure, knowing that you're under pressure and you can hear someone coming, even though it's hard at times. But that's what you want when you aren't tackling and aren't able to get a hold of opposition. You want to put that perceived pressure. But he's chased through the middle, but then he's launched. He launched like Superman and somehow was able to grab onto the jumper or the shorts or whatever it was. That is just inspiring stuff. That is outstanding. Well done, Morris Rioli.
It was incredible, wasn't it? To watch that, we would have run 70 metres flat out to get there. But he looks like a different player. He looks fit. He's trimmed up a lot, which is really good. He looks like he's enjoying his football. But, he's watched his cousin's highlights. That was Cyril every week. Cyril brought that to the opposition every week, didn't he?
He did. He was a great tackler, and he'll be doing that in the Legends match.
He will be doing that in the Legends match.
That's what we've agreed on. He's at least got to bring 10 tackles in the forward up.
Those hammy curls. He doesn't do a hammy.
But that was just that was outstanding, and that was a great win. We're going to talk about Richmond a little bit very, very soon. And, well done, Morris Rioli. We absolutely loved it. Everyone loved it. Hey, let's just have a quick float through with some of the teams on the weekend and some of the wins. It all started with the Giants winning by 8 goals over the Bombers. We thought that would happen. Essendon playing Thursday nights at the moment when they're wounded. I just think the AFL have got that totally wrong. But your Giants got the job done, did what they needed to do, and they're starting to hum.
They are. They're looking very, very good.
Premiership favourites for Bud.
You heard it with the guys. Premiership favourites, GWS. But no, they just did what they had to do. And Stringer played really well, which was good. They just got the win, and that was the most important thing. But if I was the AFL, I think what they're like, obviously Essendon playing those Thursday, Friday night games. Does the AFL look and go, you know what, we need our ratings up. We're competing
Thursday
against NRL.
Night's a great night of footy.
That's one of the best nights to watch it. If you're sitting down there with your kids or whatever, you want to watch those games and watch the good teams play. If I was the AFL, I'd be reviewing it and going, no, let's scrap Essendon and put someone else in there. That's what I'd be doing.
You speak to the AFL a little bit. You do a little bit of work around the country. Just give them a call. Say, hey, you've got it wrong. Who's playing this week? Okay, we need Collingwood and Fremantle on Thursday night. Make it happen. Surely.
Well, no, because I know for a fact people just don't watch it. When you're serving up that, when you're losing by 60 points, obviously they've been decimated by injuries. They've played nearly every player in their list, so you really do feel for them. But it's costing people viewership. But people just don't tune in, and then they'll turn on the NRL.
Well,
or watch Netflix.
Yeah, you go to Netflix or watch White Lotus. Yeah. Good show. Brisbane, 10 points over the Western Bulldogs. The Ashcroft boys kicked 5 goals between them. Bulldogs were pretty good. The Lions just left when they need to, and they're such a great side. But then the Bulldogs, highly competitive, but they need to be winning. This was a match they had to win, and they couldn't get the job done.
And I think that game was a beauty to watch. And that's what the Friday nights are for, to see the best teams go at it. And these two were right up there. I thought the Ashcroft brothers were the difference, really. They just show you how clean they are under pressure. When they get the opportunities, they make you pay. And they did it multiple times. I also thought Charlie Cameron was very, very important, especially late, chipped it sideways. Yep. That was a set play. They knew that's what they needed to do, take the ball, kick the ball, take some time out of the clock. They also did a lot of little tap-ons and then set players up. I thought that looked really good from Brisbane. Something I hadn't seen too much of.
That's happening a little bit. I reckon they're training that a lot these days, is you don't always have to grab the ball.
Yeah.
And it's not that hard with a flat hand to direct the ball exactly where you want it to go. I think a lot of teams are starting to train that a lot more, and they're starting to use it in games when, especially around contest, grab and then handball, it takes a second or so to release. a tap is just moving on in the direction.
Absolutely. They were incredible on the night, Brisbane. And Bulldogs got within 4 points and with the last 1 minute to go.
I thought they were going to win.
I thought they were going to win too. But, yeah, disappointing for Bulldogs. There's so much pressure on them now because they haven't beat anyone above them on the ladder. I think there may be one team they've beaten above them.
This might bring the best out in them.
I think it will. I think it will for sure.
Hawthorn, 38-point win over Port Adelaide. We thought the Hawks would win against their arch rivals, Port Adelaide. So it was good to win. It was a real arm wrestle. I thought Port Adelaide played really well. It was heavy rain. It was 50K winds. It was a day when you just don't want to be a footballer. But Hawthorn obviously managed the conditions really well. Ginnivan kicks a goal. But it was a win that the Hawks needed. They tick that off and get back into it next week.
Yeah, obviously Port had a few out too and key players, but I thought they sort of stuck with them for the first half and then, Hawthorn's were too good. They sort of overwhelmed them in the end and did what they had to do. But I thought Gunston was good again. He continues on a sensational year. I think just his leadership in that forward line's been incredible this year. And he looks refreshed, rejuvenated, and it's good. Well, he's kicked over 40 goals, so that's a great return for a 32-year-old. So well done to Jack. The Hawks are playing some really good football. So go Hawks.
Swans 31-point victory over North Melbourne. Your man Isaac Heaney, unbelievable. They were highly competitive for bits of this game, but the Swans just seem to be building nicely. I know everyone's saying there's still a chance to make finals. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's great to see them starting to get their groove back.
Yeah, I think everyone was going for Collingwood yesterday because they obviously wanted. Yeah, because Fremantle they won and their points went up. So I think everyone was going for Collingwood yesterday. But no, it was a huge win by Swans. They did what they had to do again. They continue to show up. Never say die attitude. The Stars are playing really well. As we spoke about North Melbourne before, they continue to play good for half and then drop off. I think that's a work in process for them. But Swans did what they had to do. Haynes was great again. As I said, all their guns did what they had to do. And big game this week. They play GWS out there. So that's going to be a massive game. Massive. So I'm
Battle of the Bridge.
Battle of the Bridge. So I'm looking forward to watching that one.
Biggest rivalry in football. Battle of the Bridge.
I think, and GWS have rested a few players, especially their guns too. So this is going to be a massive game. So I think Swans will be pretty confident they can go out there and get this job done. So it'll be very interesting.
Seems like you've been talking to a few from a confidence point of view, but yeah, they're going okay. The Blues are back. 8-point victory over Melbourne. So well done, Carlton. It's good to get a win, especially when the tide's been against you. And Melbourne won all the stats that you need to win, but they couldn't win the game. The Blues just hung tough. They found a way. Cozzy Pickett was unbelievable for Melbourne. Oh, my God. What about the form he's in at the moment? Imagine if Jackson, because he's in red-hot form, you got Isaac Heaney in the same team, and you got Cozzy Pickett. Imagine those three teaming up. What used to happen with Jackson and Cozzy Pickett. But Pickett kicked 5. He's had 23 touches. He's had a kick at goal from 45 out. He snaps it around the corner from that distance. I couldn't believe he was snapping it, and it goes through. And I'm like, how on earth did he do that? And then 5 minutes later, he's on the other pocket, bananas it from about 40 out. He's in red hot form and he knows it. He's playing like he goes in the middle. He knows he's going to get the footy. He goes forward. He knows he's going to kick goals.
He's a special player. I think I probably underestimate him a little bit too. I think he's showing a lot.
He's Melbourne underpaying him. Did he sign too early?
No, I think he's well paid, Croft. But no, I think I probably underestimate him a little bit. But I think he's had a tremendous year. 23 touches, 5 goals. He's definitely an All-Australian lock. Good win by Carlton. I thought a really good win. They needed to win this, get some confidence back within the club, some belief. So, yeah, they got the win. But Melbourne, how did they lose that, to be honest with you?
Yeah.
They'd be like...
they'd be very, very frustrated. I heard Max Gawn, and he was extremely disappointed. But then, well done Blues, good effort, found a way, played some young kids. They all show a little bit. So, yes, the big challenge for them is over the next few weeks, can they really build on that? And it's amazing what a win can do. It can, lifts the mood, changes the mindset of everyone, and you just never know where that might go. They do have the Hawks on Thursday night, so we'll see if they can bounce back and play in a similar fashion.
I think just playing kids too. I think that's important. I think that's the next step. Continue to play these young kids. I think it sort of rejuvenates the group, brings energy. I think that's a big thing, especially when you're losing so many games.
You've got to find out about them too. Like even you don't want things being perfect for them. You need to find out what's inside them, and this is a great opportunity. Richmond, 49-point victory over the Eagles. Well, I wasn't expecting this. It's their 5th win of the year, the Tigers. I just think it's been a sensational year for them. I really do, with the young kids they've got in their side, and a lot of them aren't ready really for AFL football. You can see they're so highly talented. They've got a good mix of older players around them, and I just think it's been a great year for the Tigers in a rebuilding stage. There's a lot of hope. Yes, they've had some games where they haven't been competitive, but then they've had other games where they've looked extremely exciting. So great win, Tigers. West Coast Eagles, what do we do?
Try to get some players in, Eagles. They need to, but who's going to Perth? Let's be honest. I tipped Eagles.
You don't like Perth? Didn't you grow up in Perth?
I grew up in Perth, but I'm saying who's going over there when you to West Coast when you're winning 1 or 2 games a year? I think to get a Victorian or one of those players to go across, there's going to be hard. Richmond, huge win. Like you said, I think they're on the improve. They've got some really good picks. I think they did the right thing. They got in 5 first-round picks last year. They're rebuilding. They're on the right path. I think Adam Uzo's been great for them. He's a great coach.
They're playing a nice style of footy. When they've got their confidence up and using the ball well, it's exciting footy to watch.
It is, and I think, their midfield's, they've got some good players there. They've still got some really good players. Taranto, Hopper, awesome. I think we get Tom Lynch, you get him really fit and firing next year, get him as fit as possible. I think when he's in the team, he straightens them up and makes them look really dangerous. I think with all those first-round picks of last year and you're playing them consistently, I think, like you said, they'll win a few more games next year for sure.
And some people saying a disastrous night for the Eagles. I don't think so. When you look at what's happened with the Eagles this year, you've had players retire from concussion, and not just players. You've had injuries to your very best players. They're not playing. Your captain's not playing. So what do? You have to find out about some of your list and some of the players who may not be ready to go, and some are still showing that, hey, we're not ready to go. But I don't think it's a disaster for them. I can see that, okay, we've got to find out about some of them. I think Harley Reid has been incredible to play like he has in a side that's under the pump, and sometimes he'll get a bit more attention than a lot of the others. I just think it's been a great developing year for him, and he obviously needs some support. I'd love to see for the rest of the year, I'd love to see Ruben Ginby play a little on ball, maybe not on ball the whole time, but play centre bounce, just because he's got a bit of a hardness to him, and I like the way that he attacks the footy. So let's see whether or not we can turn him into a centre bounce type of player. But Harley Reid for me has been, I think, exceptional, and obviously needs a bit of help. So I don't think it's all disastrous for the West Coast Eagles, even though they've been down the bottom for a few years now.
Oh, there's no doubt they're a proud club, so they'll be hurting. There's no doubt about that. I'm sure there'll be some long chats within the four walls of the club that they can't accept a 49-point loss to Richmond. That's for sure, the team that's down the bottom with them. So I think Eagles will be working out, okay, how can we stay within touch of teams, especially, it's not like they're a top 4 team getting beaten by that much. They're only down the bottom with them, and to lose by 50 points, I'll be really disappointed with that. I think it's a really important time for Eagles at the moment, especially this next 6 weeks. They need to finish off the season really strongly, get a bit of confidence leading into next year. But it'll be very interesting to see what they do in the off-season. They need to look to get some experience in. Are they going to be able to get people to come from Melbourne across to
Well, they're the richest
Perth?
Football club
I know.
in the world.
That's what I'm saying. They're
not in the world, in the AFL system.
They're a proud club. Don Pike's over there. I'm sure they've got some ideas of what they're going to do, but I think getting some experienced players, Harley Reid's their best player and he's only in his second year. I think that says a lot. I think they need some support around him, some leadership, guys that have played a lot of football just to be around there and support them. But hopefully they can get back on and playing some good footy and win some more games.
And that was the difference. And when you look at Richmond and also West Coast, Taranto and Hopper, very good senior type players against an extremely young, developing sort of midfield for West Coast. And they end up kicking five goals between them. They had a lot of the footy. So, you know, there is a bit of a difference when when it comes to senior type players. So a bit of work to be done from the West Coast Eagles. Geelong, 31-point victory. Jeremy Cameron, we were worried about his groin last week. We thought the season was over. Well, I did. He kicked 5. Now he's going to win the Coleman medal. Your man, Wanganeen Millera, he plays on ball. They start him on ball. He has 13 or 14 touches first quarter.
Top 2 player now, Shane.
36 touches, 2 goals. I love that he's gone on ball.
Oh, he's incredible. We've spoken about last week. We've spoken about it for 6 weeks.
They didn't win the game, though.
They didn't win the game. You know what I found really surprising with this game? I can't believe Wilkie didn't play on Jeremy Cameron. Like, best defender played best forward. Perfect matchup for Cameron. Perfect matchup. Got speed, can run all day, get up and down the ground. Play him on him.
Yep.
Very surprising. I think he spoke about the game before, said he would be on Cameron. Didn't end up happening. I think that cost him in the end. When you've got a gun on a young kid, you've got the Coleman medal leader on a first-year player, of course he's going to get hold of him and kick 5. Put your best defender on him. So I thought that was surprising. I thought that was a difference in the end. And then, obviously, Millera, what a player. What an absolute weapon this guy is. We've spoken about him week in, week out. He is a top 2 player now.
Yep.
Top 2 player. I think it's Bont, him, and Dacos. So well done, mate. Keep going. You're doing really well.
On fire. And I'm just looking on my sheet. We haven't done Adelaide, have we? I can't find Adelaide anywhere. I need to do my preparation a bit better. Adelaide convincing against Gold Coast. We spoke briefly at the start about Gold Coast, but Adelaide, they might finish on top of the ladder. They might finish on top. Their percentage is great. They've got a reasonable run home, even though you're still going to have to play a couple of the good sides, but they're going to play them on their home deck at time. And yeah, their midfields, which has always been the problem area, I believe, looks like they've fixed a lot of their problems. They've got great confidence in the way that they're playing at the moment. Their backline seems very, very united and together. Their midfield's definitely improved, and their forward line is scary when it's really functioning and working well. So, yeah, they're a premiership contender now. They're not just making up the finals.
I think so too. They will finish top 2. And, if they can finish top 2, you literally play 2 finals at home, you're straight into a grand final. So I think they're on the right.
You have to win those finals. It's not that easy.
It's easy when you've got 55, not easy, but when you've got 55,000 people going for you, it makes a huge difference. I think they're a really good team. Like you said, they've got a stacked midfield now. I think Dawson being captains, leading from the front's been great. He's been awesome. But then we speak about key position players for other teams. I think Adelaide have got some of the best key position forwards in the competition. Then their backs too. They've got some 3 big tools down there too. So it does make a difference when you've got strong pillars, both ends, and then gun midfielders. They're doing really well. So I think they'll end up top 2, which I wouldn't have picked earlier on in the year. So they've had a super year. So well done, Adelaide.
You're listening to the Buddy and Shane Show for AIA Australia, a life, health and wellbeing insurer with a commitment to helping Australians lead healthier, longer, better lives. Just on the rising star, Curtin, another almost BOG, very close. Might be, who definitely probably get some Brownlow votes, I think, from the umpire. So I think he's firmed into favouritism. He's overtaken Ashcroft, which has been a huge month when you look at his footy. What a find. We spoke about him last week, but he's now, and what I love about these young kids, when they've been in the system a year or two, they finally get some games, and then you can see they play a couple of games and then they start believing, oh, I'm good enough to be here. I know what I'm doing. I can take on this guy and this guy, even if they've got a great profile and a great reputation. And that seems like the switch is flicked and he's away. He's going to go on to be, a great player for Adelaide for a long, long time and possibly the rising star this year.
Absolutely. He's had a cracking year, but I think it helps, doesn't it, Crawford, if your team's up the top and you're a first-year player and you're coming in the system and you're
winning helps with the mindset too, yes.
And you're around great leaders, you've got all good players around you, it makes a difference because then you can sort of shine. But if you're down the bottom, say like a North Melbourne West Coast, and you're in your first year and you don't have the strong leaders around you that can help you, it's tough going, especially early on. And that was in my first year. That's just what happens. You've got to
what is this?
What is this? But
they sent me to Kokoda to walk through a jungle, and now I'm playing in a team that can't win.
Yeah, so I think he's done really well. I think he's at a great club, and it's great to see him shine. And my young star.
Oh, that's right. It's time for.
Come on, mate. Am I doing your job? Am I?
Buddy's Young Star of the Week for the Kia Tasman. Here now.
We pretty much touched on it before. Harley Reid.
Oh, young star. He's a
young
superstar.
Star. He's a superstar. And I think we all forget he's only in his second year, this kid. He's copped plenty this year, good and bad, probably more bad than good. And I think he's an incredible young player, this guy. Yes, he gives away free kicks, but I think it's that competitive side in him. He hates losing. You don't ever want to take that away from him, ever. I think that's going to be a part of him that sets him apart from everyone else. And I think that's why he'll be a great player for a long, long time.
I like a player that's got shit in him, and he's got shit in him.
Yeah, so that's why he's the number one pick. That's why they said before that draft, this kid's generational. He's generational. He's someone that you want at your club for the next 10 years. And hopefully, I really hope West Coast can lock him away. I think he looks like a really loyal person. I think he will stay at West Coast long term and turn around the club for the better and be a future captain hopefully one day.
He's a good country boy, number one pick in the 2023 draft. He's been the Eagles' best player. He might win their best and fairest in his second year, which is a big effort to do. He's only just turned 20. He's getting tagged or getting a lot of attention every week in a side that's struggling. He had 27 touches, 2 goals, 7 inside 56 tackles, 6 clearances on Saturday, and he's averaging 25 touches and 6 clearances. And you can just see his body starting to develop into, the AFL footballer that he certainly is, Well, he's a superstar. Last year, that was the knock on him. Oh, where's his fitness levels at? But he's just learning the game. This year, you can see his body started to change. Another preseason. Look out for Harley Reid. Buddy's Young Star of the Week, thanks to the Kia Tasman. I saw Buddy driving around in one the other day. The most Australian Kia ever developed, built tough, tested hard and ready for anything. Whether you're hauling, towing or taking the road less travelled, the Tasman is made for the job. The Kia Tasman, it's here now. And I actually followed the Tasman Ute to the shopping centre. I thought, it's Bud, I'll go and say hello. And then I looked in the back. There wasn't a surfboard. There were shovels. There was lots of equipment to be out in the yard working hard. And I thought, no, that's not Buddy's. It definitely wasn't you.
Mower? No mower?
You don't know how to mow.
Yeah.
What? You don't know how to
I'm a handyman, you know that. I do all the work at home.
You know how they say hire a hubby? You can hire a hubby. Jacinta hires a hubby all the time because you are useless. You can paint a fence though.
No, Olivia's told me, mate, you're the worst.
Mate, I'm a shocker. Hey, thanks for listening. Make sure you tune in on Thursday. Buddy's Moral. He's been...
I've got one this week, guys. Stick with me.
You want to tell us now? No, Thursday. Okay.
We'll wait Thursday.
Tune in. We are seeing him like beach balls, even though I got a few wrong on the weekend. But Buddy is on fire. Thanks for listening. Have a good week, bud.
Thanks, Sean.